So hi friends, welcome to my channel once again. So today I'm going to make a wooden katana, a wooden Japanese katana. I'm not sure that it will come as perfectly as the real deal. However, I will try to make it as good as new. So I'm using laminated ply, the wasted laminated ply, to make the blade. As you can see, I'm just drawing a hand drawing at first, then I will use some masking tape to cover the marks. So I'm using the masking tape so that I can cut it properly using jigsaw. So it will cover the places where to be cutted. I'm taking almost 4 centimeter 40 mm wide for the blade, and the blade length will be around 80 to 90 centimeter or 800 to 900 mm. I'm also using masking tape to cover the holder part, to cut that part so that it can go inside the holder and we can rivet it. So I'm using thread saw. So this material is thread saw, so it can be used to cut it perfectly without having any excess wastage. So this can cut it perfectly. So as you can see, I have already cutted it, the excess parts all removed. Now I will be sanding it. The edges will be sanded out using the grinder. So I'll be marking the mid part of the blade, the sharpen edge, so that I can sand it properly. So I'm using masking tape to support the blade, wooden blade, so that when I grind, no damage will occur to the table. So now I'm making the guard for the katana. This ply is also 9 mm ply, as same as the blade. So I'm using drill bits to drill in between this guard so that I can cut it properly using the thread saw. And I'll be using the bigger drill bit to drill the edges, as you can see. This is nothing but for the design, for the better look. So now I'm using the thread saw so that I can cut it perfectly in between, in middle, so that the katana blade, the back of the blade, can enter it properly. So the mid part is already done. Now I'll be cutting the sides so that it come a good circle, and later I'll be sanding it so that there won't be any sharp edge. So I'm using jigsaw. This is jigsaw machine, and using this we can also cut metal also, metal, blade, anything. So this part is the holder part, handle part. So I am using the same ply, same 9mm ply to make a handle. So I'm not wasting the wood, that's why I'm using all the parts left to make the handle. I'm also using the sandpaper to sand the edges. So I'm using as per the required size, as per my knowledge. So the handle part cutting and sanding is done. So this is the almost finished blade part. As you can see, I already sanded the sides, the sharpened edge I already sanded, and this is the guard. So this is the part of sheath so that the blade can be holded properly, and I already drilled it using thinner drill bit, and also I'm using the hacksaw blade to cut in between. First I will fix the handle. So some of the mini parts I'm using to fix it. So I'm using some of the waste woods to fill it, and also I used some dust wood mixing with the glue, and also fill it. So let's move to again to the holder part. It's almost done, the cutting. So the cutting is done. Now I'll be grinding it, I'll be sanding it so that it will be leveled and we can place the blade inside properly. So this is the handle part. So as you can see, you can insert the back of the blade properly inside the handle. Now I'll be grinding it too so that we can hold it properly. So let's move on to the sheath part once again. So I have given some edges to it so that the blade can settle down properly, and I will be fixing the two parts together, and I will also use the masking tape to support it, to dry it properly, because after cutting it from middle, the ply has bender, so that's why I'm using some masking tape to fix it properly. And also I will give some weight, some load on it to dry it properly. So now I will be using jigsaw to cut these sides to make it as same as the shape of the katana. As you can see, because the shape was not as perfect as katana, that's why I'm using the jigsaw to cut the sides. And also I'm using the grinding machine to sand it out and to make it perfect shape. So now it's all dried up and all fixed. Now I'll be drilling the handle together so that I can rivet it. I'll be riveting using dowel. So this is where I'm drilling it to rivet and join the handle together with the blade. So this part is called as habaki in Japanese. This is also comes under handle part. This also helps to lock, because usually there is no lock to lock from the sheath, lock the katana to the sheath. So this is the part where it helps to lock it. So it's also called as habaki in Japanese. So it's almost done. So I'll be painting it using matte black and red color. So the blade will be black and the sheath will be red and black, a mixture of red and black, and also the handle too. So usually they will use thread in the handle in a way of design for the grip. However, I am not using that because I don't know to make it. However, I will be putting a design as per that, and I will be painting it. So I am using some of the masking tape to make in that particular shape. Then I will be using the matte black to color it in a way it comes in that particular design. So now I'll be gluing it and fixing it with rivet. So as you can see, I'm using dowel to rivet it. And later I will be using the thread saw to cut it. So it happens to be difficult to use thread saw, that's why I'm using hacksaw to cut it. so it will cut as soon as possible, and it fixed. Now I'll be using some pieces of masking tape to make it a shape where it looks like it's threaded using black thread. However, I'm not using the black thread. I'm just putting the masking tape, and I will be using the spray paint to cover. However, it will look good later after painting it. So the final finish is almost done. So I'll be removing all the masking tape so that you can see how the finish is done.